Hey guys, welcome back to Crafting with Cami. Today we are going to create a 12 by 12 layout. If you've been around for a little while, you know the last month of December I've been working on my December daily album. So I am so excited to be diving back into 12 by 12 layouts. Today I have some new product sitting out in front of me. This is the Bloom Impressions DSP paper, Designer Series paper. This is part of the celebration. This goes from January 7th through February 28th. So if you make a purchase of $60 or more, you get free product during this time frame. As I had mentioned, this is the Bloom Impressions. This is 12 by 12 paper. And look at how beautiful it is front and back. You get 2 pieces of each cardstock. So we have some that's just kind of a wash, and then we have a ton of florals, hence the name. So I am going to try to use this on some winter photos. I also got the Timeless Plaid. This is 6x6 papers, and you get 4 of each, and they are front and back. I won't go through the entire thing with you, but there's some gingham, some plaid, just a ton of different options. So that's going to come in super useful. I already went through the papers, and this one was one that was close to the colors that I'm going to try to pull out of these papers, but I'm not sure if I'm going to bring in some plaid yet or not. Let me show you the photos I'll be documenting. So I pulled these 3 cardstocks out. I think those tie in nicely with my photos the best. My photos actually have more green than they do blue, but this one just looked so wintry, and it almost shows up a little more purple in the video, but it is blue. And my photos, though, with the pine trees and everything, I almost like how these two go better. So I'm not sure if I'll bring this one in or not. And I have one that has more yellow berries, and I think it ties in nice with those two. I don't think we could go wrong with this one, but this one almost seems to tie in better. So let me go ahead and bring out my Versamats and some cardstock, and we'll start laying things out. I have some white down, and what I was picturing at first was kind of having my main photo here and then having a title underneath, and then doing a grid style over here. And I'm not sure if I want to fill in all of the spots with photos, or if I want to leave some with for just embellishments. And I will have some flip-flops. I have 3x3 flip-flops, so I could do something like that, and then I have 2 open spots for embellishments, or I could even, you know, have more. I could print more 3x4s, and I could do another pile. Oh, these are 3x3s, sorry. I could print more 3x3s and have another pile here, and then have 3 spots of embellishments. I have a few other ideas on how I could add more photos to this layout. First, I was considering this 6x12 flip-flap. This is a close to my heart product, but I thought if I added that flip-flap here, I could do kind of a grid style on top of this, and then when it flips open, I would have a full another 12 by 12, if that makes sense. And I could have it continue onto this flip-flap. So that was my first idea. And then I also have these memory protectors from Close to My Heart, and this one holds vertical 3x4s. And it holds a lot. It holds 6 on this side, 6 on this side. So I could fit 12 more photos on this, and I would just add it between these two these 2 pages here, and it would just add 12 more photos. So that one would be an easy option. And then Close to My Heart also had this option here. I don't know if you can see it very well. There's 4 3x4s horizontally. So then I could fit 8 more photos here. So then that would slide in between these 2 pages. The only thing is, I was hoping whatever I put in here could tie into the layout. So if I did horizontal photos here, and then I had my square grid, that might look a little different, you know, but then when you flip this, then you'd see the grid. So I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but I was hoping I could kind of make it fit in with my layout. So that's why I was originally thinking this one here. I could fit these 3x3s in there, but then I'm wondering if it would make more sense to do 4 across. But then if I did that and then had this one here, I could do a strip of paper along this side and just keep my grid closer to this side. And then just have extra paper on this side and maybe on this side too to bring your eye in. I moved my grid over to this side, so now I'm wondering what if I added pattern paper just connecting these two in the middle. That might look good as well. Let me bring in some of that paper. So I could do something like this, and then maybe mat these on another color. One color I've been using a lot lately is Glacier. If you caught my December daily, you know I was using a ton of it in that too. But I'm wondering if that would tie in. So then, what if I put all of these on the Glacier and did my grid there, and then kind of had that. It does pull in some of those lighter spots. So this piece is 6x12. That's what will fit in that flip flap. And then this piece is 9 1/4 by 12. So if that piece goes here, and then the flip flap, I'll use the dark side right now just to show you, even though I want the light side showing. If that one goes here, then when I have my grid, I'm gonna have just the slightest frame. I would like white behind them too. Even have the grid take up the entire page if they're close enough. And then to keep some room for embellishing and journaling and whatnot, I'll use flip flaps on top of that. So then when this one flips open, I will have all of this yet. So I could do, and you can't even see how far over this goes, but let me scooch this, and then you'll see I have all of this yet to use for more photos. So maybe I'll start on this right hand side, and then I can kind of coordinate the left hand side with it, since I want that to be more of a title page and more simple than what's going on the right. I'm bringing in some Glacier ink and my foam dauber. I just want to ink around the edges. I also inked around the piece that's going to go in the page protector. Okay, I'm going to glue 2 pieces together so I don't have the dark side. So I'm just going to attach these 2, and then it's light on both sides. I cut white squares, and I got those adhered to the flip flap, and then one to that big piece there. So when the flip flap's on, that's what my grid's going to look like. So now I just need to figure out which photos I want down, which photos I want under the flip flaps, and then start creating the inside too. Which, once it's open, I'm kind of picturing an embellishment here and a large one here, maybe some trees or something. And then when it's open, your embellishments will be here. So then maybe I could do a line of photos going across this way, maybe 3x4s. But then what do I put along the top and bottom? So I have a lot of decisions to make. I'm going to go off camera. I've also been playing around with this paper, maybe doing something like that, going across the other layout. So I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna do some playing around, maybe cut this one down and go from there. I've made a few decisions. I have my photos laid out here, and this is the flip flap. And then I'm playing around with having like nature photos on this side, which I mean, technically they're all nature photos. The ones of us are gonna go underneath that flip flap. But I thought maybe bringing this one in rather than the darker green matched maybe a little bit better. I almost like how it looks like snow-covered flowers because we had snow-covered berries and whatnot here. So I really like that one. But then I also have the plaid from the Timeless Plaid. So then that looks pretty cool too. I like that one also. So then I'm wondering, do I want to bring in, I'd have to use multiple sheets because they're 6 inches, but I could do like that. And I like how that goes with this glacier too. I am leaning more towards these 2 pattern papers versus these 2. I think these 2 are just a little too bold. I'm not in love with the blue, and this one has a little more green and it looks more green next to that. And then this one, I like how that pulls out some of those lighter shades, but I'm still not crazy about it behind my photos. So I think I want to use one of these. I'm wondering if I could maybe add some tans or something to kind of warm this up and add some contrast since we're doing very monochromatic right now. I'm back to focusing more on the right-hand page again. So this is the flip-flap open. And I just kind of placed my photos down where I thought maybe they would work. And then I cut these strips 6 by 1.5. So then that goes in the flip-flap. This 6-inch piece will go under the flip-flap. And then same with these. And then these are 1/2-inch pieces. And I don't know that I love the full 1/2 inch showing, so I might tuck a little piece under. But I think the glitter paper is a nice touch. And then if I bring in some snowflakes with that glitter paper, I think that would look good as embellishments. And then do something with glitter paper in my clusters too. So I am liking this. And then I think I'll need a flip-flap here too. So 1 flip-flap for all of these photos. We're gonna have lots of flip-flaps on this page. I go a little crazy when I have nature pictures, and we kind of made it like a photo shoot, taking all of these types of pictures. It was really fun. So I'll go ahead and get these adhered, and I am going to ink around the edges of these with my glacier ink too. I'm going to create that kind of grid here. So I have my T-square ruler lined up so that I don't go past that 6-inch mark. And these pieces go to that 6-inch mark. So I'm just going to leave maybe a 1/2 inch or so between the glitter and the picture. And I just eyeball it. There are marks on the ruler. I could definitely go that route. And then this side, I'm gonna go all the way to the edge so that I can leave the gap. My head might get in the way here. But that way I can leave the gap on the flip flap. And putting my T-square ruler here just helps me get it completely straight and lined up with that photo next to it. So there we are there. And if we put this here, we can leave that amount of space here so that it coordinates. Just eyeball it there. And the majority of these were printed with the white frame already. Okay, so when this is closed, we're like this, and then when we're open, we're like this. I think this is coming together. So then we're ready to embellish this page. So let's go ahead and grab out the left again and try to coordinate that. All right, I have that left side here, and this piece is adhered. That's 12 by 7 3/4. We could even continue it onto that side because you won't see that when this is closed. So then if we did that, or would I want my photos completely on it and then have my title here? I have little strips of glitter paper from cutting these 1/2-inch pieces, and I'm just curious what that would look like. I got this trimmed down, so now this goes even further over because this was a full 12-inch. And then I keep trying to bring in this plaid, and I just can't make it work. I love how it looks with the glacier, so I could do something like this, like I had thought about, and I like that too. But I really wanted to bring in this one, and I love how that looks too. So I don't know. Let me know which way you prefer, but I think this is going to have to wait for another project. So we're doing the florals. I already inked around those edges, and I feel like I need to bring in another color that will contrast the glacier and blues. I have some toffee cardstock. I'm wondering if maybe the light side, matting my photos on there, would just help bring in another color, and then I could bring that into my embellishments too. Or what if I did a little border of that, and that would warm it up, and then I could do it for my title. Use the toffee for my title and some embellishments too. With my photo just on the floral background, it does look really busy and it kind of takes away from my picture. So then if I did a matte of the toffee, I think that would help my photo pop off. And I do kind of like the darker shade behind my photo. I could do both. I could do a matte around here and around my pictures on this side. I'm going to cut some mattes. I needed to trim this one 1/4 of an inch more so that this would show. And then this is that 2 3/4 by 9 1/2. This one is 9 1/2 by... This one is 9 1/2 by 9 1/2 because I have this going all the way to the edge. And then as you can see, I did gut that out so I can use that centerpiece for my photo mats that are going to go on top. I was playing with the idea of using the light side of this, and we're going up about 1 1/4 is center. So if I use the light side and then the dark side, I'm kind of liking that. I inked around this toffee paper with mocha ink from Close to My Heart. I thought maybe I would want to bring in mocha with my embellishments. So I have the dark side of toffee behind my photos, the light side of toffee around my pattern paper. And I got all of that adhered except for the photos. I'm not quite sure where I want those, but I think I'm ready to start bringing in embellishments and maybe a title so that I can start seeing where exactly I want everything placed. This is very empty to me, so maybe my cluster can kind of do this sort of thing. I'm thinking a cluster over here, but if I do my title, I might want to shift these over and do, you know, a cluster here. I tried a few different techniques with the embossing paste, the white shimmer, and this is what I like the best so far. So I stamped it in, this is pine ink, And then I just took my palette knife and dabbed it on. So there's some texture and glitter. So I did that with pine ink and sage ink. I thought it might look good to layer them. So I did a whole bunch of different, I did all 3 of these from the Peaceful Evergreen. And I have one left to do, so I thought I'd show you. So we'll zoom in here. Okay, so I've just been using this palette knife with the narrower tip. And I'm just taking a tiny little bit on top. And then I barely touch it, and I'm just kind of letting it stack up on top of itself. I'm letting it kind of be messy, and then when I get some off the knife, I just kind of run it across that way. So I put it on the branches, under the branches, and just kind of let it look like it's sitting on and dripping off the branches. And just let it be thick and layer on top of itself. It dries really fast. So, like my first one is already dry by the time I'm done with my last one. By the time I get this all cleaned up and everything, it will be dry. So I am bringing a little more green into this layout. I wasn't sure how much green I wanted, but I have to be a literal person, and trees are green, and this tree is, you know, it shows some of the green, so I think this will be all right. And then I'm just kind of pushing into the center there. Let's hold this up here. So I am liking how this is coming together. I got all these trees placed around. I put one in, or one cluster inside 2. And then these snowflakes are cut out of glitter paper, and those are just from my stash. This one has not been adhered yet. And then my hoarfrost is cut out of some letters from my stash as well. So I am going to get those placed down. And to do that, I'm just going to use my T-square ruler. This is close to my heart, but any T-square ruler will do the job. So I'm just going to put that here and use my Barely Art Glue along with my reverse tweezers. This layout has not come together quickly, to be honest. I think I used all my creativity with my December daily, and it's just been a struggle to get back into it. When I'm feeling stumped and like I'm having a creative block, a lot of times I will grab out a sketch, but this time I was stubborn and I was determined to figure this layout out. And I think it's coming together. So I have been at this for 8 hours. I did take a couple breaks in there, but overall 8 hours. So if you guys ever struggle, let me know. And how long does it typically take you to create a layout? Mine does not typically take me 8 hours. I am not one that can plan my layouts. I have to start creating. I have to take that first action. I can't sit down and plan things. It just doesn't work for me. So, like today, I picked out my photos, and then I picked out the paper that I thought would go good with those photos, and then I just started laying. I just started playing around, laying things down, seeing what would work, and I think it's coming together. That S is not wanting to go down. You know what would be easier? If I rotated this. That is much easier. And my S is far from straight. What projects are you guys currently working on? Did you do a December daily? Are you working on your December daily? I just finished that, so this is my first layout. Back on track here. I am going to continue doing 12 by 12s, but then I also have a Week in the Life album started last year for 2024. I did a 6 by 8 day, like, week in the life. I documented weekly. This year, I am doing a 12 by 12. So I created some little prompts that I'm going to be adding into my week in the life. I am doing a word of the year. So I have that picked out, and I've kind of been thinking about that and adding that into my week in the life. So if you're curious about my week in the life or my word of the year, let me know. I wasn't planning on sharing that a whole lot. That's kind of more my everyday photos, not so exciting. I don't do a whole lot of embellishing. I don't spend a whole lot of time on that album. So I wasn't planning on sharing it on YouTube. And this year I'd like to be a little more personal with it. But if that is something you're interested in, definitely let me know, and I can plan to share some. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited about the word of the year too. Okay, we got our title down. I do feel like over here needs some more brown. I have brown here, and then when we open this, I have the, oh, you can't even see that, Cold Hands, Warm Hearts. So I do feel like I need some brown down here too to kind of complete that almost visual triangle. So to do that, I'm going to bring in my brown marker. This is just from my stash. It's just a brown marker. And I'm going to do some journaling lines down here so that I can add my journaling. I tacked that down, so let's move that out of the way. And let's bring this in. And we are going to make sure this is completely straight. Bring in my T-square ruler again. And I'm just going to create some journaling lines. Another thing I'm really excited about for that weekly album is I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of music. And quotes really stick out to me. And so in my weekly album, I am planning on jotting down some of those quotes and what they are meaning to me at the time, because sometimes things just hit different. So that's something I'm looking forward to also in my weekly. And I want them to be kind of offset, but I'm not sure how many I want. I think one more will do the trick. I think I'm going to go right there. Ah! That did not work. How do I fix that? Please hold. There's no mistakes, just happy accidents. So I cut a couple die cuts. I have that one, and these are in toffee, or I have the circle. Oh no, the circle might be a little small. I still have, oh, the circle's a little small, but I almost like it better. Oh, I could add a little gem right there though. It's not completely center, but I think we'll be okay. Or I could add the gems over on that side and kind of center it more. I think I like the circle better than this one. This one's just too big. Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I did that. Directly onto my layout too. I'm probably going to have dreams about this layout tonight. Dreams or nightmares. I don't know. I have dreamt of scrapbooking before. I've come up with ideas at night, but I never had nightmares about one that I created. Okay, so now I probably should have done the lines before I adhered it, because now if I mess up, I have to rip that off. But let's just start putting some lines down. I think one more would be good. That's what I said last time when I messed up. Okay, I like that. Let's add those gems. So these are a new, where'd I put them? These are new. They're the antique pearls. And these are coming out with the storybook collection. And look at how beautiful they are. And they kind of pick up the colors that they're around. So I love them. Let's add, we need to put them here because, you know. Okay. It's a little too perfect. Let's move it down there. And then maybe one up here. Okay, so we have that little visual triangle. And then maybe one here. Okay, we need some on this side. Let's go ahead and slide these into the page protectors and add the flip flaps, and I'll give you a closer look. I have my pages in the page protector, so don't mind the glare. We're gonna do the 6x12 first. So I put my 6x12 into the flip flap. This is the adhesive side. This is the front. You fold that adhesive over. So I am going to line that up completely with the side here. My adhesive is going to go over this part. So this is going to be very hard on camera, but I'm going to line up the corners along the bottom, and same over here. Once it's down, but I only pulled the adhesive off of that little corner here, so I'm able to lift it up slightly. Let's try it again. Okay, and then you just hold that in place and adhere that down. And then I am going to take my scraper, or if you have a bone folder, that would work great. And you just want to burnish that into the page protector. Careful not to push too hard over those embellishments, but you can, I don't know if you can see it, but I can. You can see that it just disappears into that page protector. There we go. All right. Now I just have all those little ones to add, so I'm going to add those the exact same way. I have the flip flaps on, so this one here, you just kind of got to move that out of the way, flips upward, and then this one flips out, this one flips over with the QR code. These don't have flip flaps. This one goes up, this one, once that one's up, that one goes over. This one does not have a flip flap, and then when you open this up, I have one more flip flap in here. Did you count how many pictures I have on this layout? All I can say is it's a lot. I hope this brought you inspiration. I hope you enjoyed watching this process, and welcome back to my 12x12 layouts. Until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye guys.